Morning everyone, back again. Closed the mill down yesterday afternoon, started to get late. I started getting lazy, needed to put a lot of stuff away. So anyway, we packed everything up. There's still a cant left to finish, and then I've got another cherry to mill. But before I do that, I'm going to have my coffee, which is on my Wood-Mizer Pro Sawyers Network coffee mug. Now this is Dunkin' Donuts coffee, which is very, very good. However, drinking it from this mug, you just cannot beat the flavor you get from having a genuine Wood-Mizer Pro Sawyers Network mug to drink it out of. Here's how good it is. Oh, wow. Fantastic. And you get one of these if you pay about $20,000 to $30,000 for one of these mugs. Wood-Mizer will throw in a mill similar to mine, absolutely free. Hurry while supplies last. Well, I'm back. This is the butt log of the tree I cut down recently. I just finished milling the number 2 log. This log here is 17 by 17 on the small end. Opposite end I don't really care, because since I'm milling for grade and everything else, it really doesn't matter what is on the small end. But we do need to center the pith, and the pith down here is 11. And here we're 9.5, so we've got to raise this up a little bit. So I'll bring this back and we'll raise the toe board until we match. That'll make it a lot easier. Okay, we got 10. And we're pretty close to 10 there. So we'll get that thing clamped. All right, good, good. As I did with the number 2 log, this is being the butt log, I'm going to still mill for grade. And as I mentioned before also, we're going to box the heart here, because I've noticed, generally speaking, when it comes to cherry, the center of the tree, anywhere from 6 to 8 inches square, generally has quite a bit of defects, and since we're milling for grade, we don't want the defects in the lumber we're milling. So the plan is, as I did before, we're going to bring the saw blade right to the pith here. I'm going to set my 4/4 scale to that center line, bring the mill up to the height I need up here. This will be a full board thickness cut, wherever that happens to be, and from there we'll mill down. When this face, I've taken a couple of boards off of here, we'll rotate it 180, and we'll do the same thing from the pith. We're going to measure up, actually I'm sorry, not from the pith, but from the bunk, we're going to measure up to our 4/4 mark, and that's where we're going to start milling from there down. And we'll do the same thing on the horizontal plane also. So let's get this thing started up and see what happens. We interrupt this program for a special update. You may have noticed on this video and the one I shot earlier about the number 2 cherry log that I'm starting with the log being placed on the mill with the small end facing the operator. It's not by accident, and whenever possible I try to do that with all logs. Why, you ask? Because I know you're too timid to ask me directly, but I'll tell you why, whether you like it or not. Have you ever watched a video where the sawyer has put a log on the big end facing the operator, and they're making their first slab cut? They get down to the very end, and they're just maybe a foot or two away from the end of the log, and all of a sudden, like a whack-a-mole, the blade pops out of the bark, and you end up with a cut like this, right here. There's not too much you can do about it, other than to go to the other end of the log, drop down, make another cut. But because you have the big end on the operator side, do you drop down a 1/2 inch, 2 inches? What do you do? And as you can see what happens if you don't drop down far enough, you make a second cut, and you still end up with a wasted cut. So right here, this is an example of 2 cuts to produce nothing. So now you have to make at least another cut, which would be your third cut, to produce an area that is good enough to be a board so you can then start making lumber. The other thing to keep in mind is with the small end toward the operator, if your blade enters the log in the wood, by the time it gets to the other end, it should still be in the wood, and your first cut should be the only cut you need to start making lumber. Now you have a single slab, single piece to handle, single cut, and reduced waste. Now back to our regularly scheduled program.